into your programming quickly to give you an update on a tornado warning. We've got a lot going on. It's been a busy morning here along the Gulf Coast. We've had tennis ball sized hail. We've had 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and now we do have a tornado warning in place for eastern Santa Rosa County and into Okaloosa County as well. We'll start here and then kind of move on to the other threats as well. But what we're seeing right now is a tornado warning in eastern Santa Rosa County, and the warning extends along I-10, along the I-10 corridor into Okaloosa County. And this warning does look to be in place until 11 a.m. for Santa Rosa and Okaloosa County. So zooming into parts of this area here that are seeing the highest rotation, it looks to be right along the I-10 corridor right now, guys. So if you are in Floridale, near Harold, along the I-10 corridor, you got to get in your tornado safe place. Deaston Bridge Road, we're seeing there along Highway 90 as well. Again, this is Santa Rosa County, right near the Okaloosa County line in Northwest Florida. This is a tornado warning that was just issued by the National Weather Service until 11 a.m. So that's currently what we're tracking here and what we're looking for in this product. So what we're showing you is storm relative velocity, and what that means is it's storm winds. So we are looking at the green heading towards the radar and the red heading away from the radar. And so when you get that and you get these reds and greens really close together, that's when we look for that rotation. So that's what we're seeing is these reds and greens really close together. And I'm going to zoom in again on kind of street level here. Boundary Line Road, Metris Way. If I call out your street name, you've got to run to your tornado safe place. And what I mean by that is anywhere in an interior portion of your home. So you want to put as many walls between you and the outdoor world as possible. This includes maybe a closet, maybe a bathroom. It just can't have windows. That's the criteria. Near Floridale, Pine Top Road, near Herbert Road as well, Blue Barns Road, Trail Lane, Fisher Old Mill Road, along Tracker Drive is where the most intense rotation is, and it does get a little bit noisy here, but that's pretty much where we're seeing it. Let me go ahead and put in. All right, so when we look at shear rate, this is kind of our rotation detector, and what we're looking for in shear rate is kind of this S shape, and that's pretty much what we're seeing, and that's kind of lining up with where I'm seeing the highest rotation. Let's see. So yes, still looks to be moving. Lexi, how quick is this moving so I can go ahead and put a track on this?
Yes, it is moving to the east at 40 miles per hour.
Moving to the east at 40 miles per hour. So I'm going to go ahead and put a track on that if I can. Moving to the east at 40 miles per hour. So Floridale, you got 1 minute, but Holtz, you've got 10 minutes. Milligan, you got 20 minutes, and Crestview, you got 26 minutes. So this is heading pretty quickly towards the Okaloosa County line, heading along the I-10 corridor, heading towards Floridale and into Gallagher and into Baker as well. So we've got this tornado warning in place until 11 a.m. here, and we are looking at strong rotation with this storm, as well as, in addition to the tornado threat, damaging winds, hail, as well as flooding. So I do want to talk briefly about the other threats that we're seeing today in addition to this tornado warning, because we're seeing quite a lot else going on here. So we've got a severe thunderstorm warning in place. Lexi, is this severe thunderstorm warning still destructive, still has the destructive tag?
They did upgrade it to destructive for 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So it's very similar to what we saw when it moved through our area. It's still producing some very strong winds. Okay, so we got meteorologist Lexi Birmingham in the studio here as well, and we're both tracking this system for you here. Now this system, these storms have had a history of dropping large hail. We had tennis ball sized hail this morning in parts of Washington County. We had
ping pong ball sized hail as well in parts of Baldwin County. We had 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Mobile and Baldwin counties, and that's really what we're seeing so far in this storm as well as it pushes into Gulf Shores, Ferry Pass, Pensacola, Milton, approaching Fort Walton Beach as well. So in addition to the tornado threat, 80-mile-per-hour winds is not something you want to mess with. So if you are anywhere in this severe thunderstorm warning, you want to get in your safe place. You want to seek shelter if you're in the path of these storms. So we are looking at all the way from Gulf Shores up towards Atmore, Bruton, down towards Crestview and Fort Walton Beach. It's a big severe thunderstorm warning, but that's because it's a big storm that's moving through. So you want to go ahead and seek shelter in that area. So we've got severe thunderstorms with 80-mile-per-hour winds, large hail, and we've got a tornado warning in place for parts of eastern Santa Rosa County and into Okaloosa County along the I-10 corridor, which we'll get back to in just a minute here. I do want to touch on the rainfall as well, because we do have a couple of flash flood warnings in place here. We've got one in place for parts of southern Mobile County, and we've got some in place for parts of southern Baldwin County as well. So I'm going to bring up the rain totals here, and I'm actually going to go back to this one. And we are going to pixel some of these here. As far as rainfall goes, about 3 inches in parts of southern Baldwin County. We've got almost 5 inches in parts of southern Baldwin County as well. So we're talking anywhere between 2 and around 5 inches of rain in these areas where we're seeing the flash flood warnings. So places that typically flood, you're going to see flooding today, especially in these areas, but also roadways are likely to flood. You're likely to see ponding. So what we say is turn around, don't drown. You don't want to drive through those flooded roadways for 3 reasons. 1, you don't know how deep it is. 2, you don't want to stall your car out. And 3, you don't know what's in that water. It could be something sharp that could destroy your tires or something like that. So in addition to the tornado threat, the severe threat, we also have a flood threat with a flood watch in place throughout the day today, which means the conditions are there for flooding to occur, but we've already seen some flooding, which is currently ongoing in southern Mobile and southern Baldwin County, which is what we are seeing currently. Okay, so let's get back to the tornado warning that we are seeing in parts of Santa Rosa County and into Okaloosa County here. So it still looks like it's on the along the I-10 corridor. Let me go ahead and bring up the storm relative velocity, and it is a bit of a messy situation, but right now what I'm seeing is the strongest rotation along the I-10 corridor past Floridale now and entering the Okaloosa County line. Do they have any kind of position update for you, Lexi?
Just checking up on the latest. No, it looks like it's still moving east, and it still says it's located 7 miles northeast of Milton, but at this point, I would say it's a little bit more further up towards like Floridale and the Parkerville area.
Right, yeah, that's what we're seeing as well. So what I want to show you is I'm currently looking at a couple of our cameras, and I want to bring those into play as well before we go back into street level, because I want to show you guys really what we're seeing out here this morning. This is a very ominous view here in Orange Beach as the leading edge of the storms move into Baldwin County here. So that's a pretty ominous view that we're seeing in Orange Beach. Let's also track, let me see, I think that's Pensacola Airport.
Yeah, Pensacola Airport.
Pensacola Airport seeing kind of a similar ominous view as that leading edge of the cluster of thunderstorms that we've been tracking. Again, the ones that have 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts and large hail. This is that storm that is currently moving into Pensacola. So if you are in those areas, just be sure you seek shelter in the path of these storms. Okay, so let's now get back down to street level here with this tornado warning that we have. It is for eastern Santa Rosa County, and it's approaching the Okaloosa County line at this time here. So if we can get back our radar, we can kind of show you. It is a bit of a messy rotation area. I believe I am using the Eglin Air Force Base radar because it's just closer to where this rotation is. I am going to check out the Mobile radar, see if it has even a little bit of a clearer picture, and it doesn't. So we are going to go back to the Eglin radar. It's a bit of a messy rotation. It's not one of those really distinct rotations that we're seeing, but what I'm looking at here is likely along Highway 90 and I-10 here, right at the Okaloosa Santa Rosa County line. So this includes, if I can get these a little bit bigger, Willie Road as well as parts of, this is north of Floridale, Herbert Road, and we're going to be heading into Holt in the next couple of minutes here, I would say, heading towards Milligan, the campground as well. This is going to be kind of scooting along the I-10 corridor through Crestview and into Auburn as well. So parts of Floridale, between Floridale and Gallagher is where we're seeing this. Between Floridale and Holt is where we're seeing kind of this messy rotation that we're seeing so far. Again, this tornado warning does go in effect, is in effect until 11 a.m. And when I say get in your tornado safe place, what do I mean? Well, I will show you here. We'll go to our where to go. And what this means is you want to get into the most interior room of your house. So that's the lowest level. If you got a 2-story home, you want to get in the lowest level interior room. So you want to get away from windows. So make sure that room doesn't have windows, whether it's a bathroom or a kitchen or a closet or anything like that. This is kind of an example of where you need to go as we issue these tornado warnings, and today, specifically, the severe thunderstorm warnings, because we've seen severe thunderstorm warnings with a destructive tag, which means that they are particularly severe thunderstorms, and that means 80-mile-per-hour winds is currently what we're seeing. So looking at the storm relative velocity here, it continues to broaden out. Do we have any updates from the National Weather Service, Lexi?
Let's see here. Not that I'm seeing right now. But they are saying that, because again, most of us are still under that severe thunderstorm watch until 11 a.m. They are saying that there's most likely going to be a new watch issued, most likely after this previous one expires. But as far as the location of that tornado warning right now, no update just yet. I know a lot of folks on Facebook were asking something about Milton. Now, Milton is now outside of that tornado warning. So this is located to the east of Milton. So for those folks that were asking on Facebook Live, I would say more around the Herald and Floridale areas, maybe even beginning to cross into county lines there. That's where most likely that broad rotation is what we're watching right now.
Right, exactly. So Milton, you are to the east of this warning, and this storm is moving eastward. So you are not in the path of this warning. It's really focused along the Okaloosa-Santa Rosa County line between Floridale and Holt is where it looks like. And like I said, it is tough to see this rotation just because it's pretty broad. It's very messy. We're not seeing really a great radar signature here where you can easily pick out the rotation. It does look like it's a little bit messy in here. So right now it does look to be kind of crossing the Okaloosa County and Santa Rosa County line. I'm going to bring in the reflectivity here, the radar data, so we can kind of see. Okay, let's go back to, we are seeing, I'm watching this little notch here. We are seeing also an additional area of rotation. It does look like north of Kelly's Mill. So Brooks Road, Melton Road, Lighthouse Church Road, near Kaiser Mill Road. I'm watching that area of rotation as well, but the one that we have been tracking is now crossing into Okaloosa County from Santa Rosa County, and it includes places like Holt, Kelly's Mill, Bryant Bridge Road, up towards Gallagher, Log Landing as well. We've got Bryant Bridge cutoff there. This does look like neighborhood and maybe some rural land we've got going here, some farmland. Fire Lane Road. Does anybody have any like geographical locations? Okay, perfect. So we're going to see if we can get, what's in this neighborhood, what's in this area that we're tracking here. Lexi's going to look at that for us really quickly, but mainly it is looking north of I-10, north of Highway 90 is really what we're looking at here between Floridale and the Okaloosa County line. Looks like it's kind of crossing into that Okaloosa County line right now. As far as shear rate goes, we are seeing that shear kind of pick up near Holt. So I'm going to pixel that for you here. And it does look like we've got some strong shear. So remember when I said, when we're looking at shear rate, shear rate is kind of our rotation detector, we're looking for a bit of an S shape. And we are seeing a little bit of that. Again, it is broad because the rotation that we're tracking is kind of broad. So you're seeing a little bit of that S shape there. So that's kind of what we're looking for. I'm going to go back to the reflectivity, and it does look like most of the strongest rotation, again, it's pretty messy, but the strongest rotation looks to be near heading towards Gallagher, Holt, Kelly's Mill, Wiggins Road, Griffith Mill Road, Kaiser Mill Road, Trowick Creek Road, Gilman Road. Let me zoom in on this one. This is, again, along the I-10 corridor in Okaloosa County. So this just entered Okaloosa County from Santa Rosa. So it's western Okaloosa County along the I-10 corridor there, heading towards Milligan, heading towards Crestview. So I'm going to go ahead and put a track on this as well. Lexi, you said moving at 40 still?
As far as I know, yes, it's still moving to the east at 40 miles per hour.
Okay, so let's go ahead and put a track on this, moving to the east at 40. So we've got Crestview, you got 13 minutes. Forest Highlands, you got around 30 minutes. So this is a bit of a rural area, which is good, but there's folks that still live there. So we want to be sure that everybody is staying safe and we know exactly what's happening. It does look like that rotation is currently over Gallagher at this time, heading towards Milligan, heading towards Crestview, and heading towards that compound there as well. So this warning is in place until 11 a.m. Time now is currently 10:37 a.m. So we're going to keep you updated on this. And I do kind of want to, again, talk about the other threats that we've seen so far this morning. So I'm going to go back to the Mobile radar and come on, there we go. We're going to go back to the Mobile radar and talk about some other threats that we're seeing, because it's not just the tornado threat we're talking about. We're talking about damaging winds. We're talking about flooding. We are talking about a multifaceted severe weather event that we're having right now. So, of course, we've got that tornado warning, which we'll come back to, that's moving into Okaloosa County. But we also have what we call a destructive severe thunderstorm warning. Now, a severe thunderstorm warning, the criteria is 60 miles per hour as far as the severe storm winds. But what we're seeing here is 70, 80 miles per hour. So the National Weather Service put a tag on this warning saying it's particularly destructive. So
and that would be right, Caroline. I just actually got a text from our chief, Ed Bloodsworth. He was saying there was a reported wind gust in Whitefielding near Milton at 82 miles per hour. 82 mile per hour wind gusts.
So what we say about severe thunderstorm warnings is, especially in environments like this, you want to take them just as seriously as you take a tornado warning. Because when we get these destructive severe thunderstorm warnings, they can produce as much, if not more damage than an EF0 and EF1 tornado.
All right, looks like new severe thunderstorm warning is coming in.
Okay.
So I'm going to read this off for you. So this is a new severe thunderstorm warning. It includes Okaloosa County, southeastern Santa Rosa and Escambia counties in northwest Florida. This goes until 11:15.
Okay.
This is a destructive severe thunderstorm warning, as they're still looking at the probability of 80 mile per hour wind gusts.
So it does look like they just kind of extended that. So they're moving, yes. What's happening is they're moving the warning with the storms.
Yeah, they're moving it downstream.
Yep, okay, so we've got that severe thunderstorm warning in place. So in addition to the tornado warning that we'll get back to in a second here, that is moving into Okaloosa County, the destructive severe thunderstorm warnings are something we have to take just as seriously, because we're talking 80 mile per hour winds moving into Pensacola at this time, moving into Ferry Pass, Milton, up towards Gulf Breeze, and over towards parts of the beaches, parts of Pensacola Beach, Tiger Point, up towards Navarre as well. So these are 80 mile per hour winds that's moving into this area that you've got to take seriously. So you've got to seek shelter, whether you're in the tornado warning or you're in the severe thunderstorm warning.
And if you really want to paint the picture, Caroline, if you look at Pensacola Airport or downtown or even Pensacola Beach, you can definitely see darker skies and very heavy rainfall coming in those areas. Pensacola Airport and downtown getting quite a bit of a lightning show as well.
Okay, so this is Pensacola Beach. We'll kind of roll through the Pensacola cameras for you here. We've got Pensacola Beach. What you're noticing here is 1, sideways rain. 2, you can see the camera shaking with winds. 3, really dark clouds. So these are kind of ominous skies that we're seeing here. Pensacola Airport, seeing those raindrops on the lens. It's basically, you can't see anything behind the lights there because it is whited out with this really heavy rain. We can scoot on over to downtown Pensacola, and we are looking at some really heavy rain and really, really gusty winds in those locations as well. So in addition to the winds and the winds as well as the tornado threat, we're also tracking a pretty hefty flood threat. And that is because we're seeing rain rates of up to 3, 4, 5 inches per hour in some spots. So I do want to bring in our rainfall totals just quickly to talk about these here because we do have 2 flash flood warnings in place. We do have a flood watch in place for everybody. That means flooding is possible for everybody. But what we're looking at as far as rainfall totals go in these flash flood zones, about 4 inches in South Mobile County. We're talking around 4 inches in South Baldwin County. So anywhere between 4 and 6 inches I've seen as far as rainfall total goes in these flash flood zones. So in addition to the wind, the tornadoes, the gusty winds, we are talking about flooding as a major concern as well. So if you see flooded roadways, turn around, don't drown. We do not want to get caught in any flooded roadways of any kind. So let's head back to the tornado warning here. We've got meteorologist John Nodar joining us as well. And we are going to kind of get back in this tornado warning. Do we have any updates from the Weather Service with the tornado warning itself, Lexi?
I have not seen any new updates with this tornado warning, but from what I can see, it looks like this rotation is beginning to broaden out.
Yeah, it's been pretty messy.
Yeah, I haven't seen any indication that they'll dismiss this early. So as far as we're concerned, this will continue until 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock, 11 a.m. is what we're looking at. And this is kind of tough to see just because it is a very messy rotation, but what we're looking for as well, this is kind of our rotation detector, and this kind of lines up where we're seeing at least the tightest circulation. And again, it's pretty messy and broad at this point, but right now the highest shear rate south of Baker, and it's towards Milligan, between Gallagher and Milligan. So if we head back to the storm relative velocity, I'm going to get down to street level, and we're going to kind of roll down this area and call out some street names for you here. So we've got Greenwood Road heading towards Buckward Road. We've got Old River Road. We've got Old Brown Road. We've got Kaiser Mill Road. We've got Hilton Road. We've got Gilman Road there. This is heading towards Milligan along Highway 90. We've got Antioch Road there as well. This is towards Wilkerson Road. We're crossing I-10 now. This is Knapp Knob Road. And that's kind of where we're seeing this tightest rotation is between Gallagher and Milligan. I will say, if you are in Holt, Kelly's Mill, up towards Floridale, as well as Milton, you guys are in the clear from this rotation, but you're still likely seeing destructive straight line winds. 80 miles per hour is what's tagged on this warning. So if you are in, let me zoom out here, if you're in this red tornado warning, or if you are in this giant severe thunderstorm warning that stretches all the way from Gulf Shores into Pensacola, up towards Milton, Crestview, down towards Niceville, includes Destin and Fort Walton Beach, everybody in this severe thunderstorm warning or this tornado warning should be seeking shelter in the path of these storms, because like I've said, when severe thunderstorm warnings are like this that we've been seeing, 80-mile-per-hour winds can do just as much, if not more damage, than an EF0, EF1 tornado. So we've got to take everything seriously, every warning seriously today, and go ahead and get in that safe place no matter where you are in this warning, whether you're in the tornado warning or the severe thunderstorm warning. Okay, so I am going to show you quickly the forecast model so we can show you, here's the News 5 predictor, so we can kind of show you what to expect throughout the rest of the day today. So looking at the News 5 predictor here, as we move over the next couple of hours, so we'll stop this at around 2 o'clock, we'll start to see things shift south and east of I-65. Now, over the next few hours, the highest threat for tornadoes and damaging winds will be at the coastline. The reason for that is we see a lot of energy near the coastline right now. It's warmer, it's more humid, we have a little bit more of that storm energy. It really helps these storms develop and gives them the extra punch they need to become severe. So the severe threat is highest near the coastline through around early to mid-afternoon. Now, as we get to around dinner time, 3, 4, 5 o'clock, we'll start to see things sag a little bit further southward, could still see some coastal storms, but as we move towards the evening hours, we'll start to see things at least shift southward. We'll get a brief break for most of us here, but as we move into the overnight hours, we'll start to see round 2 that is going to come in the evening, overnight, and into early on Tuesday. So let's go ahead and go, I'm going to go to Eglin. Let's go back to the reflectivity here so we can check in on our tornado warning. Give it a second.
So if you were just joining us here, we are cutting into your programming because we've got a lot going on. We've got a tornado warning in Okaloosa County. We also have a destructive severe thunderstorm warning that pretty much encompasses all of Northwest Florida with 80-mile-per-hour winds and large hail. We've got flash flood warnings in place for southern Baldwin and southern Mobile County, where 2 to 6 inches of rain has already fallen and more is on the way here. Now we do have wet soil, or we have dry soil, which is good news, but this is a lot of water in a short amount of time, which is why we have those warnings in place here. Alrighty, so here's kind of the big picture of all of our warnings. We've got flash flood warnings, Mobile, Baldwin County. We've got this giant severe thunderstorm warning that covers all the way from Gulf Shores through Pensacola, through Crestview, and all the way to Destin. So if you're anywhere in Northwest Florida, you're likely under the severe thunderstorm warning. And it's not just any severe thunderstorm warning. This is what we call a destructive severe thunderstorm, meaning 80-mile-per-hour winds, meaning large hail, really heavy rain too. And of course, we've got this tornado warning in Okaloosa County at this time. So I'm going to kind of zoom into a bit of a radar tour for you here, and we're going to kind of walk you down the leading edge of this line. So Crestview, you are in the path of 180-mile-per-hour winds, but also this rotation that we're currently seeing moving along the I-10 corridor. We're going to come back to that in a second here. Moving south of I-10, Niceville, this is your early heads up that you are likely going to see these winds in the next few minutes. Shalimar, Fort Walton Beach, Destin heading towards you. Right now, we're looking at Navarre seeing pretty heavy rain and gusty winds, Tiger Point, Gulf Breeze, Pensacola Beach. Pensacola, you're kind of in the middle of this. Brent, up towards Warrington, Fort Brancas, Fort McCree, down towards Pensacola Beach is where we're seeing all of this.
All right, Caroline, looks like that tornado warning is going to be canceled. And in fact, you can see it disappeared on our map right here.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so it was kind of messy to begin with. It got broader and broader as we went on. So that tornado warning has been canceled. But before we get you back to your regularly scheduled programming, just kind of a recap here. We have 2 rounds of severe weather we're tracking. One is right now through around mid-afternoon. The next comes this evening, tonight, and into early tomorrow morning. So we'll continue to see the threat for damaging winds, hail, as well as brief tornadoes here and there. But keep in mind, and we're going to continue to keep you updated, we are looking at a severe thunderstorm warning in place all the way from Gulf Shores through Pensacola into Crestview, into Navarre, into Destin for 80-mile-per-hour winds and large hail. So if you're in the path of this storm, if you're in this severe thunderstorm warning, you've got to take it seriously, seek shelter in the path of that storm. Go ahead and get it into the first floor in the interior portion of your home. We also have flash flood warnings in place, and these will continue. These threats will continue as these storms push through. We're also tracking for the chance of more storms again tonight and into early tomorrow morning. So we're going to keep an eye on this for you, continue to keep you updated here. Join us on News 5 at noon as well. We'll have more updates for you, and check in on our social media pages and our website. We'll continue to keep you updated there as well. But we've got destructive winds moving through Pensacola at this time, heading towards Destin. We also have flash flood warnings in place. So everything that we're going to be tracking, and just be sure you stay weather alert throughout the rest of the afternoon and into the overnight hours. For meteorologist John Nodar, meteorologist Lexi Birmingham, I'm meteorologist Caroline Carithers. Stay safe today.